Good morning. It's good to have you join us on the Friday edition of Nigeria Now, showing on your digital first Pan-African News Network TOS television. As always, my name is Merciful Ajinomo. Joining me in the studio to analyze some stories from the front pages of the national dailies is Adebayo Fajime. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Happy Friday. Okay, we have a couple of newspapers this morning, and let's begin with the Daily Independent newspaper. The banner headline there says Nigeria's economic recovery slows as GDP drops by 0.98%. Still on that newspaper, we see bandit get round, telecoms shutdown, use walkie-talkies, Katsina government saying, and that can be found on page 3 of the Daily Independent newspaper. And talking about education, ASU shelves strike as Gbajabiamila intervened, and that's on page 29. Buhari signs climate change and con amendment bills into law. That's on page 29 as well. Buhari in favor of direct primaries, says Gbajabiamila. That can be found on page 30. We are waiting on state for EndSARS report, Buhari tells Blinken, and that can be found on page 29 of the Daily Independent newspaper. This story of Buhari, telling Blinken they were waiting on state for EndSARS report, I guess it's as a result of the light that has shown on Nigeria in the last couple of months, I think, on the EndSARS issue. What's your take on this statement, talking about waiting for a report from different states to give to the U.S. Blinken?
Yes, of course, I think it's a good thing because they set up this, they came up with this initiative from the center in the first place, and it says each state, each governor in their in the respective states should, set up a panel that will look into the cause of this national tragedy, and they should come up with recommendation and whatever they think they can do to curb the reoccurrence, of the menace. So I think it's a good thing. So when the states, come up with their recommendation and what they think they need to do, then the federal government can then also know what they can do. But as it is now, if the states, have not finalized on what to do, so there is nothing the federal government can do. So I think it's a good statement, and what just matters most is, every governor should be truthful, and this will ensure that what it is in that recommendation, they should do the right thing so that they can earn the trust of the people, because that is very, very important. Nigerians are so hungry, so many things, is rotten in the system, and especially the youth, they are not happy with the current state of the nation. So I think it is a good thing, for the government, whether at the federal level or the state level, to do the needful so as to ensure that what happened in October 20 last year does not happen again.
All right. Still on the Daily Independent newspaper, we see PDP governors are saying impunity is Nigeria's greatest problem. And of course, it's coming as family remembers Kogi PDP woman leader that was burnt alive in 2019. That's can be found on page 3. Do you think impunity is Nigeria's greatest problem at this time? Because we have a couple of people saying corruption, of course, which can still be linked to impunity, is Nigeria's greatest problem. What do you think of this?
You also have nepotism and all sort of, rotten traits in Nigerian system. But, it's so unfortunate that PDP is saying this. When they were, impunity is not just what we are seeing in Nigeria today. It has been in existence so many years back, even in the Fourth Republic. And Fourth Republic started with the PDP. So it is not the case of the APC alone. Because if you see the circle of politicians we have in political space, it is between the PDP and the APC. So they are the one, in that party. So if they say, yes, impunity is one of our problems or our greatest problem, when they were there, what did they do? Because I can cite many instances whereby, when they were in power, the same thing happened. So I think what we need to talk about is how to aggressively, attack this issue and ensure that, justice is being served, that whatever happens to me, if it happens to you, you don't get away with it, regardless of your status. I think that's the way to go.
Regardless of your status, yes. The EndSARS report in circulation may not be authentic. That's the Lagos panel member saying there on page 30 of the Daily Independent newspaper. Let's quickly go to the next newspaper right there. That's the Business Day. The banner headline there says, real estate emerges world's most popular store of wealth. Of course, you can grab yourself a copy of this Business Day and read about the story right there. On the Daily Trust, the banner headline there says, train passengers stranded, NRC loses millions as union strike. A couple of riders under that story. The first, traveling to Kaduna from Abuja by road, risky. Tough time for intra-city commuters in Lagos. The management says we are engaging unions. That's coming on page 5 of the Daily Trust newspaper. I'm awaiting EndSARS report from State. Buhari tells US. Again, Kwankwaso Wali Field forces PDP to postpone Northwest Congress. Now we're seeing another story there on page 13. Nigeria-US signed $2.17 billion deal on education, health, others. ASU federal government reached truce as Gojibamila intervened on the strike issue. On the Daily Times newspaper as well, we see the banner headline talking about the same reaction from the president on the EndSARS report to the U.S. state. On the top there, we see strike federal government promises to address ASU's basic demands within 7 days. We can see that story on page 2 of the Daily Times newspaper. On the downward part right there, we see the Inspector General of Police says no plan to eject female officers residing in barracks with spouses, contrary to the news that's been going around. Of course, he's saying it's rumor, and we can get out on page 4 for details on that story. On Nigerian News Direct banner headline there, energy economic growth, US-Nigeria seal $2.17 billion agreement. US says Nigeria remains our most important partner in Africa. You can get details of this story on the Nigerian News Direct newspaper right here. We see Buhari signs climate change. AMCON amendment bills into law. Can get out on page 10. And UN says world spends $423 billion annually on fuel subsidy. All of this can be found on page 16. And then we see Mars E&P secures USD 274 million facility from Afrexim Bank. That can be found on page 2, of course. And then we see the Bureau says Nigeria's economy grows by 4.03% in third quarter of 2021. And that can be found on page 14 of the Nigerian News Direct. And of course, Fidelity Bank reports 31.4% increase in profit to 28.1 billion. Now you can get all of this business stories on page 15 and 16 of the Nigerian News Direct. And of course, don't forget to stay updated on our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. And of course, follow us across all our social media handles at TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and like and subscribe to our YouTube page so you do not miss out on our amazing content. Again, thank you for joining us on the Nigeria Now. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye for now.